Hola, mi nombre es Jessica Castillo, yo soy de República Dominicana. Tengo 18 años y vivo aquí en Fairfield.
Hola, mi nombre es Julio, soy de Perú. Estoy en mi cuarto año de universidad en Fairfield University.
Salut, je m'appelle Yann, je suis de la Côte d'Ivoire.
Hola, me llamo Antonio y yo soy de México.
So when I came into Fairfield, to even get here to Fairfield, I had to take the TOEFL, which is English language proficiency test for non-English speakers or non-native English speakers. I took the SAT, so it wasn't a really big issue for me to take the TOEFL. The only problem is that they couldn't verify my bilingual schooling, so they couldn't verify that I had English proficiency, so I had to take the TOEFL instead. And I had to get a minimum score of 90. I got 112 out of 120. And the price of the exam is very expensive. It's about from $200 to $300 to take it in the DR, and it could be more for other countries. Then when we get here, we have to take our English classes just as normal, and there really is no expectation for you to do less or like even allow you to do worse than a normal English student. They expect you to be proficient and to try your hardest, and sometimes that is much difficult for a student whose language is not English, their first language is not English, and the expectations for some students are much higher just because they didn't grow up writing or speaking or saying anything in that language. So it's a little hard, and I wish that some professors would be much more understanding of our situation and how we don't necessarily know how to write well in English, and we're used to writing in another language. I'm used to writing in Spanish. I used to write in both languages, but I'm much better speaking and writing in Spanish, so it's a little unfair in the long run to basically compare us to students who've only been speaking English their whole lives.
I learned English in Peru first before coming here. It was very structured, it was very like formal the way they taught it. However, I didn't learn as much as I wish I did, because when I came here I found myself very lost. Like the way people spoke, it was different than the way I was taught. And also like they teach you like verbs and maybe not very like how to read books and things like that, but when you come here, the professors already expect you to read books and like write huge essays, like 4 or 5 pages, and I was just like very lost in how to do that in the beginning.
Writing is really different just because like the translation from like just any other language to English is like very different. My writing, it's improving because like in French when you taught to write, it's very different from the way you taught to write in English. Like for example, my professor just tells me to use like fancy words, while in French like you just like kind of write how you speak, you know?
So learning English right here and Spanish have been like really challenging for me when I was in Mexico. Learning Coming here like for 7 years, it's been a tough challenge for both English and Spanish. And the way that I've been taught in Spanish in Mexico is way different right here. Like it's very like some of them is formal, others isn't. And learning English itself, it was just challenging because there's so many things that I have to get accustomed to. Even being in ESL or other placement classes, where even though it's supposed to help you, it doesn't necessarily help you as much. Whereas like if you're actually like stuck in the environment of English, where you're accustomed to talking it every day, rather than like say like learning vocab in Spanish, like uno, dos, tres, where like in English like 1, 2, or 3, it's better off like you talk more accustomed to other people who speak the same language. Now see, in my household, no one spoke English, so it was all Spanish. Even when I came here, all Spanish, because no one knew English. They only knew English here and there, but just like listening to the conversations of how other people from different conversations. The way I learned English was Google Translate.